Hello guys! In this video I show you the best 5 car classes to start your sim races career. Ironically, it wasn't easy to make this top 5, because I had to consider a lot of elements, such the ease of driving and the popularity and availability of the car class in the most common simulations. I want to start immediately telling you I want to include karting, even if it's the perfect way to start your racing career in real life. Karting requires a lot of skills in sim racing games, so they are generally pretty hard to control. To prevent critics from hardcore sim racer who consider sim racing their religion, in this video I'm going to use mostly the chase camera to show better the cars. So, let's start this top 5. Okay, you will ask me why I've included this class if GT3 class have more than 500 horsepower and could reach speeds pretty close to 300 km per hour. Reasons are multiple. First reason, mechanical and aerodynamical grip. These cars have a lot of grip thanks to the wide slick tires and the great downforce. These two elements make them very stable, especially at high speeds. The second reason is the driving assist. Here you have ABS, the anti-lock system, and the traction control. Be careful, don't confuse the GT3 class with the GTE, GT2 or GTLM, because even if these classes are very similar, there are two substantial differences. Generally, GTE, GT2, GTLM cars are 2 seconds per lap faster compared to GT3. But moreover, ABS is forbidden in a GTE, GT2, GTLM. So for that reason, GT3 cars are easier. When you choose a GT3 car and you have low experience, take a front-engined car. Generally, it's easier to drive compared to mid-engined cars. Mid-engined cars are more reactive and sometimes more nervous. Moreover, GT3 cars are probably the most common class you can find in racing games. So if you don't see the next car classes in this video, choose this one.
Starts 50, turn 1 left, don't cut, good luck. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 50.
In my previous video I told you if you want to start your sim racing career, you should avoid rally games, because before going off-road on dirt surfaces, you should improve your track skills. Anyway, if you want to start the rally discipline, the best class is the Group R.
160, turn.
If we exclude the R4 and the R5 and the RGT, the Group R you should find generally front-wheel drive cars with no more than 230 horsepower. Front-wheel drive cars are very easy to handle because they tend to understeer, so they are pretty stable when you accelerate or turn. Anyway, don't underestimate the modest power. Sometimes the weight is under 1 ton, and that makes them pretty fast on technical part of the tracks. If you want to start with this class, try to prefer tarmac surfaces for the first times. In that way you can familiarize with the car reactions. So, when you play for the very first time a rally game, search the car in these categories: R1, R2, R3. If you are a fan of open wheels but you don't have enough experience, don't go directly to Formula 1 or Formula Indy. There are a lot of minor formula which are perfect to learn the basics of these single-seater cars. In any case, I suggest you to stay under 200 horsepower, but don't be disappointed by the low power. Often the weight is under 600 kilos, and thanks to that, the power-weight ratio is similar to the Porsche 911 Turbo. So yeah, they're pretty fast. Between the current minimum formulas and those which don't exist anymore, you can choose between the Formula Abarth, the Formula Ford, the Formula Volkswagen, the Formula 3, etc. Between these formulas you can choose those with and without wings. Those without wings have a real low power and they use almost every time the mechanical grip. Those with wings are more powerful, but also more grippy than those without wings, and their reaction are closer to the Formula 1 cars. Formula E is also a good alternative, even if they are slightly harder to control at lower speeds, because they don't feature slick tires. Then, when you feel ready, you can pass from the C category to the B category, like Formula 2 or the Super Formula, an Asian open-wheel championship. In that way you can also get used to the ARS and DRS systems. But keep in mind with this formula of B category, you can reach speed higher than 300 km per hour, so obviously you need good reaction times. This class isn't just easy to drive, it's also so fun because it gives the exciting races for both drivers and public. Thanks to the power of 350 horsepower and the front-wheel drive, they are not too fast and pretty easy to drive, even for the first experience ever on sim racing. Thanks to the high power on front-wheel drive, it helps to beginners to understand the basics of throttle control. This class includes most popular hot hatches from famous brands such as Alfa Romeo, Audi, Volkswagen, Hyundai, Honda, Citroën, Volvo, etc. There aren't driving assists, but you really don't need them because speeds are reasonable and you have enough time to decide when you have to brake, when you have to turn and when you have to accelerate. The only bad thing about this class is, sadly, it isn't present in a lot of racing games. The racing game that covered the most the touring car class is Race Room, a pure full simulation which lacks in graphics compartment but it rocks in physics and engine sound. But don't worry, I heard a team is working on a game about the BTCC and it will be released in late 2021 or 2022. On the honorable mentions, we can talk about the GT300, the Asian championship which features grippy GT cars limited to 300 horsepower. Too bad it's rare to see these cars in racing games. For that reason I haven't included in my top 5. The DTM, before 1995. The old DTM cars had a reasonable power, and some of them included ABS or even the four-wheel drive system, which improves a lot the stability in acceleration and at low speeds. I would have included them in the 6th position, after the GT3 cars in terms of difficulty. The LMP3. These are prototype cars, similar performances of GT3 cars, but with less power and lower weight. But sadly they are quite uncommon in racing games. What are the good points of this class? It's present in a lot of racing games, such as Assetto Corsa Competizione, iRacing, Gran Turismo Sport, Asloop 4, Project Cars, Forza, and other racing games. The second good point is it features a great variety of cars, maybe the biggest one, such the Ford Mustang, BMW M4, Porsche Cayman, McLaren 570S, Maserati Gran Turismo, Aston Martin Vantage, Toyota Supra, Audi R8, Chevrolet Camaro, Alpine A110, just to tell you a few of them. So your choice is rich, and there are great probabilities you could drive your favorite car on this class. The third good point is cars are easy to drive. Okay, the power isn't low, between 300 and 450 horsepower, considering there aren't driving assists. But considering the weight isn't so low compared to the other classes, some cars can weigh more than 1,400 kilograms, and the fact they run on slick tires, this makes this class perfect to start your sim racing career, because it's easy but not too easy. In fact, in my opinion, when you start from zero, it's better to start with a hard way, without racing assets and with a car which is easy to drive, but not too easy, to allow you to understand better the car reactions. The fourth good point, which is for me very important, is GT4 prepares you to the higher class, the GT3. I remind you, this is just my modest opinion according to my experience, but I hope this video will be helpful for you if you're starting your sim racing career with race cars. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.